Thank you. Okay, thank you for the first presentation. 我想大家都已经都能够明白这 Phil Goff 先生给我们的一个简短的陈词。虽然说只有3分钟，但是在这个短短的3分钟里面，他已经把他的这个竞选的理念已经淋漓尽致的向我们表达清楚。那他大致讲的是说，将来如果他成为这个我们大奥克兰的市长呢，他首先要改变的就是这个交通的问题，因为现在交通的问题所花费的时间是越来越长，给人们的开销呢也是越来的越高。第二个呢，就是他要改善这个住房的问题，因为住房呢是现在所有奥克兰很多人都会关注的一个问题。那么他是否能够成型，我们也拭目以待。So let's welcome the second candidate, Mr. Palino.
Daja Hao. I want to actually thank TV33 and distinguished guests and all your sponsors for bringing on this debate today. It's a wonderful debate, and it's great to have a debate of this size. It's a wonderful opportunity to be able to talk about our plans and our vision for Auckland. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. As some of you may know, I grew up in the restaurant business, in the hospitality business, which is very much about people. One of the things that most of you don't know about is that as I was growing up and I was going to school, I was a builder. Back home, we used to do everything from building foundations to the framework to the windows to insulation, bathrooms, toilets, everything. I had the opportunity to learn how to build, and I think that's a great attribute for a mayor, because if we're going to get Auckland moving and Auckland building in the right direction, and if we're going to work on reducing the regulations so that we can build quicker, I think it's really important that we know something about it. Now, one of our biggest problems in Auckland with our growth plan is that we are looking at Auckland as a super city. Auckland is not a super city. It's a province, it's a region. And as soon as I say to look at Auckland differently, and you look at it as a province or region, you start realizing that we have multiple cities. We have suburbs, we have communities, we have farmland, and we have to manage that differently. You know, this growth plan is all about building houses. How many houses can we get built immediately? That's what this plan that Auckland has is about right now. But they forgot one major thing. They forgot you. They forgot the people. Now, I wrote a plan, which I have in my book. And I wrote this down here so that you can actually read everything I'm talking about and how I can fix Auckland. And you can download this book. It's a PDF file down on my website. My plan is about how we build communities, how we make our communities safe when we're building homes, how we create jobs and homes living together so that you don't have to travel so far. How do we make sure that our grandparents are not having to move out of Auckland because they can't afford to live here anymore, and then they don't get to spend the time with their children? It's about building communities. It's about building up Albany, creating more jobs in Albany, creating more residential areas in Albany so that the people in that area can live close to where they work. It's about building up Henderson. It's about building up the CBD in Manukau, and it's also about building a satellite city. You know, we have an amazing opportunity. This population growth is about bringing people here and making a future income and a future beautiful city. So I talk about building a wonderful satellite city where we can not only build the schools, the police, the fire department, the ambulance, and everything you need as the population is growing, we can build right at the same time. And in the future, we're able to build a hospital and a university with a campus so kids live on it safely. So whether your kids are from South Island or from China, they can live safely. So the vote is up to you. You have the direction for where Auckland's going to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Daja.
Palino. Thank you, Mr. Palino. 好像大家对于他的这个演讲的都是意犹未尽。我发现，不知道大家发现没有，头2位的这个发言者都会提到了住房的问题，不由得让我想起了咱们中国的一句老话，叫做“让居者有其屋”。可能现在越来越高昂的房价，越来越成为很多人的这个负担，很多人甚至没有办法去负担他们的第一所住房。就像 Mr. Palino 说的，在将来我们不希望我们的祖母因为负担不起我们的住房和消费，要搬到奥克兰以外的地方去，他们可以和自己的子子孙孙一样，可以安居在奥克兰，安居乐业的同时，可以共享天伦。我相信。谁能够处理好这个住房的问题，我觉得都可以为他在将来的竞选过程当中能够加分。So let's welcome the very first lady, Victoria Crown. Welcome.
Ni hao, nice to see you all here tonight, and thank you for having me. I'll just share a little bit about myself. I'm 43 years old, I'm a mother of 2, and I'm standing to be your next mayor because, quite frankly, I'm incredibly restless and dissatisfied with where Auckland is at. We have a number of major issues in Auckland. Our council is ineffective, we are wasting too much of your money, we are not building enough houses, and we are spending far too much time in traffic. So I resigned my role as Managing Director of Xero New Zealand. I also looked after Xero in Asia, so I looked after Hong Kong, Singapore, we were moving into China, Malaysia, so I know the international Asian markets very, very well. And I am tired of how Auckland Council is letting Auckland down. So I resigned my role to offer my extensive experience to you. I've run billion-dollar revenue businesses. I've worked with government and partnerships around major infrastructure programs. I'm a change agent. I've led big changes across business organisations. But I've also worked in not-for-profit and social enterprise and with the government. And that's what I want to bring to Auckland, to stand up a council that is equal in nature to our amazing city. What does that mean? What do we need to do? Number one, we need to build a world-class integrated transport network. And I've got quite some ideas around how we do that. Number two, we must accelerate the supply chain for housing. We quite simply are 30,000 homes short, and we're 4,000 to 5,000 a year, increasing in shortage. We have to address that. Number three is we do need to be a digital city. Let's not just catch up. Let's turn and face Auckland to the next 20 to 30 years. Let's catch up to the rest of the world. Let's do what you are doing in your cities, which is using technology to build very smart cities. Number four is we have to move the port. We are outgrowing the port, and that is an opportunity for Auckland to stamp its personality on the world stage. And number five is we must build a safer city. And the people who feel unsafest in Auckland are in specific geographic areas of Auckland. They also happen to be more female, and they happen to be more ethnic. So I bring a fair amount of understanding to what that looks like in terms of safety. There's two other things. One is the culture of council. It is too bureaucratic, it is too big, and it is too inefficient. And that's what I've done in my 20 years of business, is to improve the efficiency. That's what I've done working with government. So thank you so much for having me here tonight, Shape.
Thank you. Thank you, Victoria. 好，作为我们今天发言的第一位女性哈，Victoria 女士的这种气势给我的感觉就是说，现在美国也有大选哈，是这个希拉里对这个 Trump。那现在我们这个奥克兰呢有新市长的这个竞选，是唯二的2位女性对其他的4位男选手。但是根据她的个人经验来讲呢，大家可能听到了她讲的这个第4个就是 technology about Auckland， 就是对于奥克兰的这个信息技术的更改，我觉得是每个人都必须要意识到的。我相信很多人跟我一样，在几年前来到这里的时候，面对着我们高昂的要用在中国花1年的钱包年的钱来付这里面1个月的月费的这个网络和数据的时候，我们真的是怨声载道。我觉得在改善了交通和住房的这种经济条件之后，我觉得很有必要提升我们奥克兰现有的像这些所有的科技的问题。还有一个就是 Safe City， 我觉得这个非常有必要。在前半年的时候，发生了很多的这个当地的这个罪犯袭击咱们华人的这样的一个不良的事件的产生。我相信能够把这个奥克兰建成一个 super city 的同时，让它所有的人民能够安居乐业，这是作为安全的一个非常重要的保障。Okay, let's welcome the second lady, Penny Bright. Thank you.
Thank you. Ni hao, thank you very much for the invitation. I am the candidate which is not like the rest of them. I have been a political activist since I was 18. This year I will be 62. Activists get things done. Chairman Mao had a big influence on my background over 40 years ago. Seek truth from facts. Serve the people. Which people? Which people? I, as Auckland Mayor, I will be looking after the interests of the 99%. Sorry, but I will not be looking after the interests of the corporate 1% and investors. Auckland is already being run like a business, by business, for business, and the people never voted for this. The books are not open. We do not know exactly where hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars is going. I am the person that has refused to pay rates for 9 years because the council will not follow the law and tell us exactly where the money is being spent on private sector contractors and consultants, and that is the law. As the Mayor of Auckland, I will make sure the rule of law is upheld and we have transparency. I agree with your President, Xi Jinping, in his fight against corruption. I have produced a one-page action plan which is translated into Mandarin. You will not see this document anywhere else in the world. I have been to 5 international anti-corruption conferences, and what concerns me, and I'm one of the few people in the world who are saying this, the root cause of corruption is privatisation. There used to be public, private, now it's all mixed up. And the problem is that people, no disrespect, but from the private sector, you are not trained to be public servants. Me, for the last 16 years, I have paid myself. I am not doing this for the money. That's why I'm very dangerous. I'm not doing this for the money. And what I want to do is to make sure there are big changes in Auckland. We need to open the books. We need cost-benefit analysis to find out if the public money is being used in a proper way. I like the Chinese idea of planning. The market model doesn't plan past Friday, in my view. And in Auckland, we have people without homes. We have homes without people. How is that right? What is number one? Property as a human right or property right? Whose interests are being served? So if you want someone who's going to get in there and clean it up, I am the candidate for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bright.